Shalom. This week, we're going to take a break in the order of the haftarah, the portions of the prophets that we read every Shabbat following the Sedra, the Torah reading. Because this week is Shabbat Shekalim. Shabbat Shekalim is always the Shabbat before Rosh Chodesh Adar, or actually on Rosh Chodesh Adar, which means we have about 2 weeks left to Purim, and more important for many housewives, we have just over a month left to Pesach. No need to get panicking and frantic, but plan it out properly. So what is this Shekalim that I'm referring to? When the Jewish people were asked to contribute to the Mishkan, the sanctuary of the desert, they were asked, each and every Jew was commanded to bring a half shekel coin, a piece of silver, and all those were counted up. This was one way, of course, of counting the Jewish people, but it was also a way to make sure that every Jewish person felt, I contributed to the tabernacle, to the temple of the desert. The practice of contributing to the communal sacrifices was maintained as long as the tabernacle and the Bet HaMikdash, the temple, existed in Jerusalem. Every Jew, just before Nisan, Rosh Chodesh Nisan, which is the beginning of it's the first month in the Jewish calendar, it's month number 1, every Jew had to bring a half shekel to contribute for the communal sacrifices that were offered up once in the morning, once in the afternoon, every day, and on Shabbatot, on Sabbaths, on Rosh Chodesh, and on other festivals. In this way, again, every Jew felt, I am part of this. I have given my contribution. And the service takes place through my generosity and contribution. The portion that we choose, that was chosen for this Shabbat Shekalim, is taken from the book of Kings, and it's from the middle of chapter 11 to the middle of chapter 12. It speaks about the king of Jerusalem, Yehoash, who came from his parents had led the Jewish people astray in worshiping idols, and the service of Hashem's temple in Jerusalem had been neglected. He, under the tutorage of Yehoiada, the high priest, he learned the ways of Hashem. And when he reigned, when he became the regent, he began a total reformation. But the building itself, the temple, needed to be restored and repaired. So he began a system of collecting. He would send out the priests to collect. They would build, they would repair, and then they'd be repaid. But that system wasn't working, because again, one thing that was lacking, the people felt they were giving charity to the Kohanim, to the priestly families, and not to the temple. So he stopped that. And any time a Jew came offering up a sacrifice, or came to visit the temple, he would leave behind a contribution that would be used for the repairs. The message cannot be ignored, that every Jew is supposed to feel, I have a part in the communal service. Even if a person feels it doesn't appeal to me, I don't feel inspired, but if you want to feel counted, you want to be counted, you have to give. And this isn't only about the temple, this is about everything in our Jewish lives. Shabbat Shalom.